to know those new faces. Dominic Ball, part of a successful season for Rangers on loan in the last campaign, as they came back to the Scottish top division at long last, as far as they're concerned. Team whose urgent task is to turn third place, having been the major challengers to Leicester City in the title race for so long, into something better. Well, for Juventus, it's about doing more than merely dominating domestically. Champions League finalists in 2015, that's the kind of area they see themselves getting to again. Whether Paul Pogba is with them or not, Gonzalo Higuain might be as well. A couple of new faces on show in both sides today. So Ryan Mason and Kwadwo Asamoah, the two captains, the highly experienced Ghanaian there for Juventus. 69 caps, although not a first team regular these days. But Max Allegri does give debuts to two of his new Juve signings in Miralem Pjanic and Mehdi Benatia. They surely look to target the Champions League this season. They do make a notable switch to a back four today, which is not that unusual. They do change their system around. Not too many familiar names on the bench. We saw plenty of them against Melbourne Victory, where they lost on penalties. Carlos Blanco scoring that remarkable goal from distance. Spurs also introduced two new boys in Victor Wanyama and Vincent Janssen. And there are a few new faces around, especially in that back four, with Cameron Carter-Vickers, Will Miller and Dominic Ball yet to make a first team debut in a competitive match. Christian Eriksen and Kevin Wimmer not involved in the squad today. Eric Lamela, the most prominent name really amongst those Tottenham substitutes, who I'm sure we will get to know as the evening progresses. Ben Williams, who has announced his retirement from refereeing, is in charge for this one. Great respect between the two coaches. Max Allegri has had a remarkable time at Juventus. Another double last season. And there's a man who many feel will improve their prospects. Miralem Pjanic, big money signing from Roma for £25 million. Here's a first touch for young Will Miller, playing at left back today. He's a very versatile player. When I've seen him on the odd occasion, he's performed in midfield and as a false nine, actually. Former child actor, just 20 years of age.
Indeed, it's an opportunity for a few of the youngsters tonight to shine, Dan, but it's important that you do have a little bit of experience in there as well, and Spurs have got a bit of that. But I would say most of the eyes will be on Wanyama in the middle of midfield there, and Janssen up front. Can he prove an able deputy when Harry Kane no doubt will need a rest now and again next season, because there was signs of burnout certainly in that European Championship for Harry.
Allegri. Well, can Benatia get there? It's his first defensive test in a Juventus shirt, up against Vincent Janssen there, and he found Alexandro. There's Tommy Carroll playing in that role just in behind Janssen. Will be a winner in this match. If it finishes level at the end of 90 minutes, there will be a penalty shootout, as there was in Juventus' first game, where they lost on spot kicks to Melbourne Victory. But this is the first step into the public gaze for Spurs this season. Some training ground friendlies against Forest, who they beat, Fulham, who they lost to, and Rotherham, who they also recorded success against. A particularly inspiring start for the telepathy between Neto, the goalkeeper, and Mehdi Benatia there. The Spurs fans watching around the world will be hugely interested in Vincent Janssen fares, Dutch international, signed from AZ.
It'll be interesting to see how Juventus also go down. I mean, we've been fortunate to do them many times in Champions League and Italian Cup finals. I went over there to see him against Lazio, and I just think Allegri's done a wonderful job with them, because not only do they churn out these doubles that they've been doing, but they actually sell players at an alarming rate as well. Star players, where you think of the likes of Pirlo, Pogba and Tevez, Vidal. And Pogba's not quite gone yet, but I'm sure he will be. But those type of players going, can he do it yet again, Allegri?
Well, here's an opportunity for Dybala. It's marshalled back there by Cameron Carter-Vickers, the devil with the angel's face, Paulo Dybala, terrific goal scorer for Juventus, 23 last season. Burst onto the scene as a young player with Instituto in Argentina, where he wiped Mario Kempes's name out of the record books as their youngest goal scorer.
And those Spurs centre-backs, the young centre-backs, will have their handful tonight with Dybala.
It is a big test for Cameron Carter-Vickers and Dominic Ball.
But it's the way you want to do it, Dan. These pre-season friendlies, I think, is invaluable when you're playing up against good opposition in particular, and those centre-backs will find out tonight that it's not just about your athleticism and your footballing prowess, but it's your concentration levels against good players as well, and that's so important, which you've got to realise in that position. One mistake and it's a goal.
It's Cameron Carter-Vickers who nipped in to good effect in that foray just a moment ago. Here is Asamoah. Lemina, Gabonese international, bit part player last season. Losing out there to Wanyama in that particular tangle.
Number one, Wanyama. Will he start for Spurs this season? I might think no. Dyer, Dembele, I think Dyer was a revelation even for England, one of the few to shine.
And I know you're a huge fan of Dembele.
I think Dembele's a really good player, one of the few players, Dan, in Premier League football that can run with the ball, not just pass between the lines, but run it between the lines, and he's a must for Spurs. And I see Spurs quite a few times last season, and I think Dembele outshone everyone. I thought he was incredible. So it's going to be a tough task for Wanyama, but it does give him, Pochettino, that is, the option of playing two out-and-out holding midfield players together, which he didn't really do last season, but two out-and-out holding midfield players, and of course give him valuable rest of players now and again.
Sandro, Dybala, it's cut out by Will Miller. Grateful to get an opportunity, but a little loose there, and that certainly could have been costly, as is that mistake from Dominic Ball. And it will run kindly for Pereira, and now for Dybala, and Juventus lead. And he was never going to pass up a chance like that. Swiftly into the groove at the start of the new pre-season campaign, Paulo Dybala. 23 goals last season, and it looks as though we're set for more of the same from him in a Juventus shirt.
Well, there I was talking about the concentration levels. Poor touch, unfortunately, for Dominic Ball, but Dybala finishes it really well, puts it past Vaughan with ease. It's the touch that you had to wonder about. The first touch took him into the challenge, and you lose the ball, you're the last man, and when you're playing against quality players, that's what it results in. It's a goal. Big learning curve for the youngsters at the back this evening. Good finish though, really good finish across form from Dybala.
Yeah, his favoured left foot, and that was going to be the only outcome, but a very harsh early lesson for the Tottenham youngsters. Dybala did start the game against Melbourne Victory, but managed to put one away in a goalless first half. Offside against Pereira.
Centre-back position, it's one I used to play in, but now you're looking at the boys nowadays and you're asked a lot more on the ball. You know, you're expected that first touch has to be good, because they don't often get closed down really from, you know, strikers, because only one striker plays up front, so when you do get closed down you're somewhat surprised, and just got to be knowing when to play up the pitch and clear your lines, or when to try and play out of defence. The Spurs have obviously got a couple of, or three now, Alderweireld, Vertonghen And Vimaru was excellent last season. 3 really good centre-backs in there. But the boys tonight, it's just a shame at the start. But this is when you really got to learn from it and, go on from there.
Pressure paying a bit there for Juventus.
There's only one experienced player in the back four, that's Trippier, and you wouldn't say he's the really experienced player, but there's the finish again from Dybala. He's still got to finish it, and it's a cracking finish down across the keeper.
It's Lemina's ball, and Big Vic Wanyama getting his head on that. Well, he's certainly produced a timely goal there, with all the expectation that Gonzalo Higuain will be heading Juventus' way in the very near future. Indeed, only Higuain managed to score more goals than Dybala last season in the Italian top flight, so it's a fantastic addition to Max Allegri's armoury. You mentioned, with all the players that have gone out of the club in recent years, sustaining the success despite that, marquee names. Quite an achievement. What it says about the challengers, well, I'll leave that for others to judge. But a set-piece opportunity here, and Pjanic, I think, will quickly become the set-piece king for Juventus. Dybala adding his left foot to the equation here. Interesting. Asamoah, Lemina. I think it worked better in theory than practice.
I was going to say, even I could have took that one. It was square ball across.